pretty big fan.
Why'd you hit that red button already?
We're going.
Because it's time.
It's time
to kick it.
Smooth as butter.
Is it really?
I guess.
Okay.
Oh, man. Welcome to Hardheaded. I'm your host, Matt Amos. With me, as always, Joy, 3-Shot Trussell, and Chet, spelled like the store. Sears.
Is that store still open?
Yeah, there's still some out there.
I don't know if there are or not.
I think they're like some local hardware stores or something. Sears home stores. Something like that.
Whatever.
I tried to get rid of that. Like I stopped doing it. I'm like, okay, because Ashley she's like, when we were engaged, she's like, there's no way I'm saying Sears like the store. And then she found out the same thing I found out when I said I was going to stop doing it was people don't get it. Like, they're like, Sears, and they're like, can you spell that? Like SEARS.
Oh,
they're like
the store.
What? and then they're like, oh, and then that's exactly what they say. But after you have to spell it like twice, and then they're like, you mean like the store? I'm like, yeah. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just why spell it twice and then say like the store? Just say like the store.
There you go.
Ashley found the same thing, so she says it all the time now too.
I agree. Yeah. And we spent too much time on that anyway. It's not this isn't about you. We're here to talk about what's on Troy's mind.
This isn't what's on my mind, but
you brought it up.
Quick story about the Sears store back in Shreveport. I was in high school and I was on tape, video surveillance, walking through the store.
Imagine that.
And some shoes got stolen. I think it was some shoes or a jacket or something. Well, we left. Nobody ever tried to get us or anything. But
well,
the store...
Hold on. Nobody tried to get us because you stole the shoes?
No, nobody tried to like stop us or arrest us at the store. But somehow they called my parents. They figured out who we were somehow and called home.
That's that old Trussell boy.
Yeah. So anyway,
again,
my parents confronted me, and I'm like, no, I swear I didn't steal anything, this time.
Yeah.
Which
what day?
Right? So, but I was on video surveillance the whole time walking through the store. They could never find where I stole these shoes or whatever. So they basically let me go. Which I didn't steal anything that time.
Yeah.
Now, was I guilty of stealing other times? Yes.
That was a warning shot.
I will confess I have shoplifted, and I apologize. It's not a very good thing to do. But that time,
this guy,
that troubled childhood,
was not in the wrong. Anyway, what's on my mind? So the other night, I woke up and I had this little something felt like a scab on my side, and I was like, kind of in a stupor,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'll look at it later. And that happened 2 nights in a row. And then finally,
I know what this is.
The third day, during the day, it hit me and I was like, what is that? So I finally looked.
Tick.
And it was a tick.
Dude.
And I was like, this thing has been sucking on me.
How big was it?
It was about... I don't know.
Yeah.
About that big.
Well, it was healthy.
Yeah, it wasn't real super fat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had been sucking on me since I went to do that drone out at Steve's land.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's where I traced it back to.
Yeah.
So that was on a Friday. I picked this thing off on a Tuesday.
Dude.
That thing had been going to town.
Yeah.
So I bring this to your attention.
How'd you get it? Did you burn it? Like what?
No. So I got tweezers and I dug in a little bit to get all of it and then ripped it out of there.
Yeah.
And had a little whelp on my side for a day, and 2 days it was a little itchy, and then finally kind of quit bothering me.
Yeah.
You definitely got the limes.
Probably.
The limes.
The Lyme's disease.
Lyme's disease. You know why they call it that?
No. Is this going to be a stupid dad joke?
No.
All right.
That's the
Lime County.
It's
or
like
something?
the town. Yeah, the county or whatever that they found. They identified the disease first, which is why you can call COVID like the Wuhan virus.
Ah, yes.
That's
because they
Chet.
typically name it from
Nope,
where they
we're not
find
going
it.
down that road, Chet.
MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. Like it's geography is the front part of why they call what they name a virus
I get it, but
or a disease.
many people don't.
Or somebody's last name. If it's, like Lou Gehrig's disease,
Right.
they'll name it after a person or after geography.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I bring this to your attention because I know you guys are in the woods a lot more than I, for the most part. But drone season's coming up for me, and I tend to get these things on me when I'm out droning some land.
Now
I think you're kind of good, like walking through grass.
So it's funny. So when I got the prosthetics and started, getting back out into the woods and stuff like that, no ticks whatsoever. And then about 4 years ago, maybe. So this, when I started going back into the woods, that was about 8 years ago. And 4 years ago, they started getting on me. Now I still haven't had them really dug in. I had one, I think maybe fell off of, I was driving on my Ranger, and I think I hit a cedar tree because they love to hang out in cedars. And it must have fallen on my shirt because same thing, except, this wasn't like 4 days later because I
Check yourself.
and I bathed properly.
Check yourself.
I bathed properly. You know what I'm saying? And so brings into question your hygiene. But
Demonstration. I mean, you can teach him.
you need some lessons. Do you want me to come over
I
and show
shower
you?
and bathe properly.
I don't think that you do.
I wasn't in the woods. I stepped out of my car, to drone.
That has nothing. Don't try to.
So like if I go in the woods and I'm like setting up deer blinds and all that kind of stuff, duck blind. Yeah, I'm checking myself.
I didn't
like,
even
big
say
time.
check yourself. I just said.
I said check yourself.
Check yourself.
It goes back to obviously you don't cover all of your body with soap, so there are parts of your body that stink more than others. Obviously,
No, not necessarily.
I don't wash my feet, but I know you don't either. So
I wash my stumps, man.
Well, they sweat every day.
Yeah, they do. They do sweat every day.
Yeah.
But so anyway, same thing though. But it was the same night, right? And so I'm lying in bed and I'm like, man, arm kind of itches, and I'm looking. I'm like, is that nope, that's a tick. And then pulled it out, killed it, and then same thing, itched like crazy for a couple days, and then quit bothering me. I'm pretty sure I've got the limes too. I mean,
Yeah. I was in California on business. I had to go give a couple presentations, and the way the schedule worked out is like I had a day in between everything. So I'm like, I'm not hanging around here. I'm just going to go find something to do. So I drove down to Big Sur. So I went hiking in this big state park, which in California, I'm thinking, and these trails where it's like high traffic, not bushes and shrubs and grass. It's just, overpopulated area. But I got to see some wildlife. It was the middle of the week. There was hardly any people there. But yeah, that night, like, what the heck? There's a tick. That thing itched for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Whatever they do to deaden the, them digging in.
Yeah.
It just like crazy. But when I first got my hunting property, I still had both anatomical legs, and I would go through there, and I had never in my life experienced that many ticks ever.
Yeah.
To the point, like on my socks, like my white socks, it was, I'm not exaggerating, completely covered with those itty bitty, like dang near microscopic ticks.
Like you walk through like a big nest of them.
Yeah, terrible. And I mean, so I always am very, after that, I mean, I mowed all the common areas down. I put out, it's a 7 is what it's called. It's a granular type of pesticide. I'll put that on the ground. Then I've got a spray. And then I have the best thing that I've ever found that works. And it took me forever to find it because the Marine Corps, before we would go on deployment, we'd have to turn in all of our camis and they would get sprayed down.
Treated.
Yeah, with something, right? And so I spent forever trying to find out what that was. Well, it was basically just permethrin.
Yep.
And so the closest that I found to it is Sawyer's. And I think you can buy 2 bottles of it for like $20, I think is what it is. It comes in a 2-bottle pack. You can spray your clothes with it, leave it out to dry, and it'll last on your clothes for 6 weeks or 6 washes. Water doesn't break it down. What breaks it down is UV. And so I've been sitting in my blind hunting, and because now for whatever reason, it might be because I'm shorter as well, that they're able to latch onto my shorts a little easier and then crawl up. Or if I'm going through a tree, going through the woods, they'll drop on your shirt. But I was sitting hunting turkeys and had my clothes treated with that Sawyer's and watched a tick crawl and die. And I was like, this stuff works.
Yeah.
And I
Gotcha.
I haven't had a single tick attach when I've had that stuff on. And so I'm religious about treating all of my clothes, my kids' clothes, because my aunt had a severe bout of Lyme disease. And I mean, it affected her neurologically for many years with migraines and all different kinds of neurological symptoms. And then they finally figured out it was Lyme and treated her for it, but she still has residual effects because she went so long before getting treated.
I'll tell you, there's 2 things in my truck in the map pockets, the sunscreen and bug spray. Like you go out there right now, you're going to find sunscreen and bug spray.
But no map.
Huh? Map? Yeah, you'll find a map in there too.
Map's right here, right?
No, you'll find a hard copy map. But I mean, that's the most frequent thing I use, like that I just store in my truck.
So what's the best bug spray that you can just buy real quick to spray on to keep ticks off?
So
Deep?
No, Ben's 10.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a little orange bottle that it's basically 100% DEET. It's about the only thing that you can find that's still DEET anymore.
No, Repel has a DEET version.
Yeah, but this thing's like 100%.
Well, I'm just telling you.
I might be exaggerating. It might be 90, but it's up there.
I'm a fan of Repel with DEET, and that's from 8 summers at summer camp. Like that's the stuff that worked better than off and all the different kinds of off and all the skin so soft that Avon sells and all that other stuff. But anything with DEET I found is better than those without DEET. But I use I think Repel is the brand that I use.
And beyond that, permethrin is absolutely the best because it actually kills them, doesn't just repel them.
And that's what you put on your clothes, right?
You could do that, or you could spray. Like you could spray your yard with that.
Well, and there are products out there that have a percentage of permethrin in it, and you dilute it into a sprayer.
Yeah.
And that's what I do around my trails and stuff like that. And you don't want to get it close to a body of water. It's not good for fish and
we put that down at our place just in the short grass where we mow because
spiders and
it's gonna run them. They're still gonna be there. They're just gonna not be
in that area.
Put it.
Yeah. I'm
nice.
Yeah, and I've already started this year. I spray. There's a Ortho makes a indoor-outdoor pest control deal, and I spray the inside of my house. I go around. I spray around the deck, and then I get out with the granular stuff from 7. Put that out, and then on the big areas, I have a boom sprayer, and I'll fill that up, and then I spray my trails with that. And the tick population has gone down considerably by doing that. Did you get a tick when you came out and hunted at my place? Or did you just shoot a buck with balls?
Dude, that's pretty funny.
I just took your little baby Bambi.
I'll tell you, I bought a Brad Paisley album a while back. It had a couple songs on there that I liked. I'm Gonna Miss Her, the fishing song, Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm listening through the album, and that song "Ticks" comes on. Never heard it before in my life, and man, it cracked me up so hard. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I don't know country music.
Well, it's basically the chorus. I'm not gonna sing or anything, but he's like, "I'd like to check you for ticks." Like he's like hitting on a girl. So
nice.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're bad news. I don't like them. I hate them.
I hate them.
They're like the bane of all hunting for me is the ticks.
Yeah. I would agree.
Snakes.
I can deal with snakes.
In Kansas, you can. Yeah, I'm just telling you.
Well, cottonmouths.
And you go to Florida. I know what you're saying, but I'm just telling you, dude. It's like head on a swivel anytime you're walking around outside where I grew up.
I really don't have to worry about that.
I know because you grew up in the city.
No, because they're gonna bite and break their teeth. I mean,
that's
go,
true.
Go for it.
I
sucker.
got you.
All right.
They hit your pump.
Where I do have to. No, my pump's metal too now. I don't have that.
Okay.
No, they're gonna break their teeth.
Fangs. They're fangs.
Whatever they are. Spitting fiber now too.
No.
Oh my gosh.
This guy. Anyway, where are we at?
We're at top 3.
We are at top 3. Okay.
I'd love to go first.
Listen, I don't care what you want, but I will let you go first. And our top 3 today is national parks. Top 3 national parks.
Top 3 national parks. This was tough for me.
Why did you choose it?
I like challenges.
Okay.
Number 3, Acadia National Park. It's in Maine. It's awesome. It's just a really cool place. There's so Rockefeller used to own this land, and he had it developed with a road system where he could take his carriage on it and just ride. So when they got it turned over to the national park system, they've kept that road system up. And so there's all kinds of bike rentals that you can do and go and ride or run or whatever you want to do. But on these nice, hard-packed gravel, 8-foot wide trails that go all through the whole park. So you could see a lot of it in a relatively short amount of time on a bike, which is really, really, really cool. And it's right up there next to the ocean. It's got some mountains in air quotes, but some pretty big hills, lots of lakes around there. It's heavily wooded. It's just gorgeous. Just a beautiful place that you kind of get to separate. There's a lot of people there, but they're all typically riding or walking or jogging or whatever. So you come across a lot of people, but at the same time, you're not like with a lot of people the whole time. Which is unlike number 2, Yosemite. Just a gorgeous, it's unbelievable. The difference, you look at there's like 4,000 foot cliff faces and El Capitan and Half Dome and all the stuff. I was just blown away. The waterfalls. I was also blown away by the number of people there. Like there were just thousands of people. Everywhere you look, there were people. Like I was there with my buddy Eric, and we wanted to camp, and we didn't get a reservation for like a tent site early enough to where we could actually camp there.
Oh, man.
Just because every place is full, every place is booked. There's people everywhere. Whole lot of people. But I could tell you, man, that's as far as just raw beauty, it's you got to go. It's fantastic. And my number 1 would be the Grand Tetons, and it's right there, just south of Yellowstone. But again, it's real rugged, beautiful, wooded, not nearly as crowded as Yellowstone is, and
which is surprising because they're attached.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's when you drive out of the park of Yellowstone, it's like 45 minutes before you could drive into the Tetons.
Nope. Not the way I went. Anyway, I'll let you go ahead.
Dude, we can talk.
So we can discuss this.
They're separate when you drive.
They are separate. They're separate parks. But the entrance that I went in, because I went up and I took went through Colorado west and then came up through
Jackson.
Nope. Man, I can't remember where I came up through, but I was surprised because we entered Grand Teton first. And
because you went through Jackson.
I don't remember going through
Jackson. I'm going to Jackson.
I'm sorry, you went through Teton Village. Is what you went through.
I don't think so. I don't think I did that either.
You did. You had to.
But either way, I came out and I was like, oh, look, there's the entrance right there for Yellowstone. And boop, right in. I mean, literally came out it said leaving Teton National Park. And then right there was the gate.
45 minutes later.
It wasn't 45 minutes. It definitely wasn't 45
You were
minutes.
asleep.
I was driving, but went right in.
All right, you know what's going to happen?
Y'all are taking a trip.
No, the next time that Matt and I work together, there's going to be some Google Maps drawn up.
I was,
And some Google Street View, 100%. Every time we've had an argument where it came down to Google Street View, I've won. So,
I don't think so.
yeah. No. And this is going to be another one of those.
We'll just have to.
We will have to see.
We'll
But
just have
anyway,
to circle back.
We're going to
on
circle
that.
back to that.
Go, if you're at the Tetons, you need to hike Jenny Lake. It's I don't know. It's just spectacular. We were there with kids. I mean, it's elk everywhere. Didn't come across any bears, which is good. Moose.
See any sheep?
Moose, no.
No. Mountain goats?
Feeding in the water. Head under the water deal. I mean, just gorgeous. No mountain goats either. But yeah, so that's my number one.
Very good. Hadn't been any of those.
No?
So, no.
Well, I'll go.
Go for it.
So, Grand Tetons is on my list.
Okay. You and I agree on that.
We do. And it is actually also
Number one?
my number one.
Dude, that's awesome.
So,
Have I ever told you how smart you were?
So I actually, when I went through, whether it was the gate that you're talking about or not, when I went through, I was surprised the same way at how geographically close, up for debate, that they are.
No, they're close. I mean, they're really close.
How many fewer people were there, and how much more
Beautiful.
natural
Yeah.
it was than when I drove through, because this was my first time. I literally just went when I went up to elk hunt last year. I had a couple extra days, and a buddy of mine and I decided we were going to go up and we're going to take the long route because we needed to stop in Helena and work out some tag issues, and decided, hey, well, we'll go through because we can't get there till Monday, but we might as well start now, and we can go through Yellowstone and up through there. And I wasn't even thinking Grand Tetons.
Tetons, yeah.
And so we pulled in. I was like, man, this is spectacular. I go, man, what's Yellowstone going to look like? This is this awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And then we get to Yellowstone. I'm like, maybe we should just go back to the Tetons. And, but because the Yellowstone, honestly,
It's got some neat stuff. I'll
It
tell
does.
you.
We stayed
It's
for-
got people.
tons of people. And when I want to go to a national park and I want to feel like, man, this is a park,
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of people.
Yeah.
I like more desolate places, I guess.
I'm with you.
But, for Yellowstone, we went and we stayed for the geyser, which Old Faithful, and
Really neat.
tons of people. Tons of people. Like,
Dude.
to the point we're standing there and there's seats benches that you can sit on, or you can choose to stand, whatever. But we're standing there and this thing's getting ready to go off. Like, we're looking at the times on the board. Okay, it's going to go off relatively this time.
Yeah.
And it starts doing its bubbling thing. And then this guy comes up with his like huge freaking camera and sets up like right in front of us. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, like we're trying to watch here. Like, can you shift over
Right.
a little bit, And then he wants to be all nice about it and stuff. And I'm
Like,
like,
dude, that's not cool.
that was pretty rude, And then of course, as it goes off, then you get all the parents and their kids rushing up to the front. And I'm like, man, if you just stayed where you were, it's going to look the same from here as it did from over there, because it goes up a long way.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're not going to miss it.
It's bad.
So that was pretty annoying. And then all the people, and then waiting for the gift shop, and oh my gosh.
So we got there. There's some advice that we got from people that we visited with in Tetons, because we went to Tetons first. We actually stayed in the Teton village, but they were like, go early, like get there. If you are there at lunchtime, you're hosed. Like, there's just they run out of parking. It's just a disaster. So go in the morning, early as you can. So when we left early, and we got there, fairly early. Parking lot was maybe a third full, and it had just gone off. I don't know, about 20 minutes before we got there, and it was like on a 90-minute cycle or something like that. So we looked around the gift shop, and and then we went out and we got front row seats. Like got out there early and just sat there and visited and had a good time with kids, just goofing off and whatnot on that platform, so we're on that front bench. And it gets closer and closer and fuller, and people are just stacking in there. And I'm like, man, we did it right. We were up here up front, kind of excited about this. And then it starts to do its thing. It'll do a little gurgle bubble and all that kind of stuff. And people come up and sit at our feet.
Oh yeah.
They sit on the ground, like the deck that we're on top of my foot. Like I'm dude.
Yeah.
Like this is not cool.
Well, and I guess we kind of lucked out because we were there when COVID was kind of doing its thing, and we were there in September.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't a whole lot of people in the park, still way too many for my liking.
Yeah.
But so we stayed, same thing. We had just no legs over here. I can only go so fast. Right.
Yeah.
And so we missed the first, it was going off as we were walking up, and it's like,
yeah.
When's the next one? Hour and a half. So we go sit in the truck, wait, and then I'm trying to find a hotel room, which they wanted like $400 a night. And I was like, you're absolutely out of your mind. I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
And so we worked all that out, and then I ordered pizza, which was the most expensive pizza I've ever ordered in my life. I think 2 pizzas and some breadsticks were like $85.
Oh my god,
it was ridiculous. But got all that settled.
Best pizza in Yellowstone.
And I can't even remember Wild West pizza or something like that. I don't know, something Wild Bill. I don't know. But watched it, and then as we were trying to leave the park, these people have never seen a wild animal before.
Oh yeah,
I assume.
Yeah, bison.
Because as we were leaving, there was probably
traffic jams.
Literal.
People just stop.
Oh gosh.
Literal.
Yeah.
It's not like 2 lane, or 4 lane. It's 2 lanes, one going this way and one going that way. And we're trying to leave the park, and there's a herd of elk on the left-hand side. And it's probably 400 head.
Yeah.
There's some really good looking bulls in that herd. You can hear them bugling and all that kind of stuff. And then we look over to the right, and then there's like 4 or 5 bison right there. And then as we came into the park, when we initially arrived, there had been a bear attack. Some idiot got chewed up by a bear, and they had the road kind of closed down for that. And so we're having to wait for that. But anyway, so as we're leaving, buffalo on the right, elk on the left. Sweet. Okay. We've seen the buffalo. We've seen the elk. So is every car in front of us, but no, every new herd of elk, we're going to stop. We're going to get out, and we're going to take photos. I'm like, we've seen the elk. People, you've seen one, you've seen them all. So whatever. So that park was completely painful to get through, but the Tetons,
but some really neat things to see.
There are some extremely cool things.
There's just too many people.
And then like the thermal, whatever.
Prismatic springs.
Yeah. They were gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. But
the waterfalls, I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
But my experience there, just like you're talking, is not top 3 worthy.
No.
There's too many people.
The only reason it's not on my top 3 is because of the people.
Yeah. Yep. And where Yosemite had just as many people, though, dude, that valley is just awe-inspiring.
See, and I've never been to Yosemite.
Oh, my gosh.
So
that was your number 1.
That was my number 1.
All right. Starting at the top, Troy.
Right. 2 and 3. Here we go. Gonna be letdowns now.
Number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3 is Grand Canyon National Park. So I'd driven by it as a Marine. I don't know how many times, because every time I would start in California and drive home, I'd be on I-40, and I'd be going through Arizona, and I'd see the turnoff for Grand Canyon, and I'm like, no, we're going home, because I'm like a Nazi on the road, man. Like, I've got to get to where I'm going. There's no bathroom breaks. We're driving.
Dude, you stop for gas. This is traveling with Matt. You stop for gas, and while you're there, go to the bathroom, get something to eat. Get back in, and we'll stop. when the tank is empty. Like
That's how it goes.
yeah.
And so I like to get to where I'm going. I don't like this all in between. Like we're going to stop, we're going to look around and we're going to lollygag. No, we're going to get there. I'm mission driven. I've got to get there. So I driven by it so many times and we just never stopped. And so, when I retired and was coming home, I was like, well, there's no rush because I don't have, you're
not on leave.
I'm not on leave.
Yeah.
I can take time and we can goof off, do whatever we want. And so we stopped at the Grand Canyon and, I really didn't know what to think, driving up to it. Cause you see pictures of it, you hear about it. But it was absolutely gorgeous, like perfect. And we were there at the time of year, like there was hardly any people there and you really just got to experience it. I mean, you can get up really close to the edge and it's just a straight drop way down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the colors are absolutely, I mean, they're awe inspiring. They really are. They're very, very cool. And so I love that park. And I didn't spend, 2 or 3 days, because right next to that was there's a big crater, from a meteor, there. And you can go see that too. And, just makes for a really neat trip. There's a lot to see because we always stopped in Flagstaff and we would always stay in Flagstaff. And then there was a Holiday Inn Express because that's my preferred place to stay when I'm traveling because everything is the same and at a Holiday Inn Express. Not a
And a Hampton Inn.
And a Hampton Inn is all the same. It's my number 2 if I have to stay there. But
it's like, let's say Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn's where it's going. Well, it's where all my points are, man. Yeah. But so that would be my number 3. And then my number 2 is Joshua Tree National Park in the Mojave Desert in California. Spent a lot of time out there just driving. If you wanted to get anywhere from 29 Palms, you basically had to drive through Joshua Tree National Park.
Yeah.
And it's hot in the summer. It's really nice in the winter, super nice in the winter. But it is desert. And it's just super rugged. Of course, there's nobody out there because nobody wants to be in the Mojave Desert, just chilling out. But there are a lot of, climbers and people that like to go cave diving and stuff like that, or spelunking, I guess, as they call it.
Spelunking, yes.
Yes.
A lot of people like to
I've
do
done
that out there. And, that's where you can find your Mojave Green Viper is out there when you're cave diving and doing stuff like that.
Is it poisonous?
It is. Yes. And I don't know. It's just, as desolate as it is, it comes back to the colors and the ruggedness of it and the Joshua trees that grow there. I mean, they're just super, super cool. And plus, I mean, all the time in the Marine Corps spending time around there just kind of became a second home. What are we going to do? Let's go 4-wheeling in Joshua Tree. And that's what we do.
Cool. I've been to the Grand Canyon, back when I was in diapers. I don't remember it.
No?
No, but that was when, we were getting stationed in Japan and we had to drive to California to fly out of there or something.
Did your parents leave you there like Joe Dirt?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, my number 3 is Joshua Tree National Park.
Oh, look at this. We got some overlayment.
Man.
Overlapping. And I've never been there. I just like the trees.
Joshua trees are pretty cool.
So there's that. Number 2, Redwood National Park.
Northern California.
That is beautiful.
I've never been there either. But it's where George Lucas got his idea for the Moon of Endor.
Those coastal redwoods, man, I'm telling you, some of the tallest trees in the world.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They're awesome.
One place that I've never been when I was in California that I wished I would have gone to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was there for a little while with work, but hit that and Giant Sequoia National Park and Yosemite and Alcatraz is a national park.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't been there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was Folsom.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
But
I wasn't on there.
It's pretty cool. One of the best little
my exposure to Redwood was when I was a kid. You guys remember those viewfinders?
Yeah.
I'm talking about with the little slides and the pictures?
Yeah.
So my dad had a whole collection of those things, and he had them in a White Owl cigar box. And take those out, and I'd look through all the different ones. We had like Bugs Bunny and all that kind of stuff, but my favorite ones were the ones that were of nature and national parks and all that kind of stuff. And there was one that was actually called National Parks, and it had pictures from different national parks. And the Redwood, and they had one that the tree was so big that it was cut out, and you could like drive underneath it. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, and I've wanted to go there ever since I was a kid. And maybe I just need to go do it.
Yeah, man, you should do it.
I need to go do that one.
Yeah. It's incredible. I want to go too. The pictures I've seen are amazing.
Yeah.
It looks really good online.
That's right.
The movie that was there, those tree houses that the Ewoks built.
Yeah. That was awesome. So number 1 is the only national park that I think I've been to is Hot Springs National Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah.
So I've climbed up a few mountains there and put my feet in the hot springs and had a good time there. They got a bunch of trails running up and got some hot springs that are really hot.
Dude, that was like back in the 20s or whatever, they thought they can heal people. So like it was popping.
Yeah.
Back then, like all the wealthy people come there to get fixed.
Get healed.
Wonder if you could soak a tick in there and kill it.
Maybe. Can you drown a tick?
Probably. I don't think you can drown a tick.
Hey, man. Go get another one. Run an experiment for us. Let us know how it goes.
No,
wait to pull it off for 4 days.
and then take a long bath and see if he's like, I'm done.
I can't take this.
I can't take this anymore.
It's too hot.
I've heard like putting petroleum jelly on a tick will help them release.
Well, yeah, because
it suffocates them.
Yeah, because that's how they breathe when they're attached, is through their
petroleum jelly
abdomen.
Oh, really?
Or their thorax or whatever the tick has. I forget. It's been a long time since I've been in school.
Okay.
But it plugs it up so they can't breathe.
Okay.
Yep.
Get another one. Run that one too.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Fact check me on that, Troy.
Will do.
No, like they
scientific
run an
experiment.
Like get bit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to go out in the woods.
I will.
All right.
We've got a board game at home. It's the board is like the country and national parks or the locations you go. It's pretty cool. There's not much in the middle part of the country at all.
No.
Like at all.
They're actually trying to change that.
With how? Is there anything worthy of national parkness?
No, but what they're trying to do is I forget. I think that it's called 30 for 30 is what what their
ESPN documentary series is what that is.
No.
Yep.
No. I think it's this. It might be the same name. I'm trying to. I can't remember. Either way,
I'm pretty sure they changed like the St. Louis Arch is now a national park. I don't know if it always was. I've been there.
That's like a national. Why is that a park and not a monument?
I'm just telling you.
I'm just throwing this out there.
I think because they don't have anything. I really do. So you have Hot Springs.
So they're reaching.
You have St. Louis, and then you have like Isle Royale, which is up in Minnesota, and it's an island in one of the Great Lakes up there.
So are we?
But there's nothing else in the middle of the country.
Are we counting preserves?
No.
National preserves?
No. We're counting national parks, not preserves, because there's one in Kansas.
The Tallgrass Prairie.
Yeah.
National Preserve.
I know.
Which is pretty, by the way.
I drive by it every time I go to my place up in Council Grove.
We actually stopped by when we came up for Labor Day that one year, and we were coming back and we stopped by at the Tallgrass Prairie.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
unbelievable, but it's
very cool.
just it's not a national park. It's federal property. It's preserved.
It's a national preserve.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were counting that or not.
We're not.
I guess he makes all the rules.
And once you understand that, life gets a lot easier.
Yeah, right. But anyway, that 30 for 30 deal, we might have to cover that later.
You're going to fill me in on it because I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up, make sure that that's actually what it's called. But like the government's trying to establish these trails that people can walk, ride, whatever, but it goes through private property owners' property. and private property owners are now trying to fight that. So we might have to talk about that later because I'll do some more research on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know just the person to talk to because she's a neighbor of mine and she is fired up about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on.
Dig into that. I'd be interested.
Yeah, I will do that on an upcoming episode. So now I guess what, are you done? Are you done? You done?
Are you?
I am. Are you ready for your good word?
I'm ready for my good word.
Give it to us, Chet.
I was leading a Bible study the other day. You came across two characters that are always mentioned together in Acts.
Simon and Peter.
Nope.
James and John.
Nope. Like never mentioned unless they're mentioned together.
The sons of Zebedee.
Nope. And it actually, they're mentioned in Acts. They're mentioned in Corinthians. They're mentioned in Timothy. It's a husband and a wife.
Oh, yeah.
Priscilla and Aquila.
Aquila.
And I thought it was from a good word perspective. It's not just a word that I have, but to be a married couple and to work together on, in this case, they helped. They moved around a little bit. They first lived in Rome, then they lived in Corinth, and then they went with Paul on his first missionary journey and ended up stopping in a town that needed some help. And then they ended up moving back to Rome. But everywhere they went, they're always mentioned together. When Paul goes through a list of people to thank in his letters, he mentions them first, typically, and mentions them together as well. Wherever they lived, they basically started a church in their home, and they were not preachers, pastors. They literally they were tent makers.
Yeah.
So they brought their business with them and kind of set up their home, and they were successful because they had kind of, some of the commentaries that I were reading were talking about how they can host a church in their home because it was a relatively big home, and everywhere that they went, they may have actually left a piece of their business there that they still got income from by some people that they trained. They actually worked with Paul. Paul lived with them for 18 months, making tents before he went off on his missionary journey. But I thought it was pretty neat from a husband-wife perspective that they were so tight and did everything together, so much so that they're never mentioned apart from each other. Like if you're going to talk about, hey, Troy, it's like, no, Hannah and Troy. Like every time that they're mentioned together, and which means a couple things. Number one, they had a strong relationship. Number two, she was just as active as he was, right? So
Yeah.
that you couldn't give credit to one without giving credit to the other because they were doing things together. And I just thought that was pretty powerful. It really, just kind of looking at that, and I look at some of the stuff that Ashley and I have done, together in Haiti, and just thought, man, that's just really cool. It would be so neat that if all the good stuff that you were doing side by side, so much so that it's just an inseparable team, from a marriage perspective. I thought, man, that's really neat. So I guess my good word is find something with your spouse where you're both engaged, you both enjoy, and do it together, so much so that when somebody sees you, you're always together and they're talking about you being together. Like you're not off doing your own thing all the time. She's not off doing her whole thing all the time. And you just live in these two separate lives. You have your kids. You still love each other. I mean, I know people that are like that really love their spouse, but find something and that's together, and that if that people group those around you for that, they're like, nope. If I'm going to name them, I have to name them both because they're both always there, both engaged, both powerful, both, strong.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the exact opposite of what happened last weekend when we were up at Claire's soccer tournament, or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So my wife takes Claire to the practices and all that kind of stuff, and she's there with her all the time.
Yeah.
And there was one lady that came up and goes, you know, I've been thinking about this. You're Matt, right? I was like, yeah. Yep. And she goes, I went to school with you and we ran cross country together, and my sister was in your class. And I was like, oh yeah, it's you. She goes, and your wife Aubrey, right? And I was like, no, Audrey. you know? But just kind of funny that you pointed that out when that happened, like just a couple weeks ago. But no, I would agree finding something. And if my wife is listening, hunting.
Come shoot something with us.
She's not outdoors. And like the only time I took her, she said yes to camping. It happened to be like in May in Kansas. And we got
rain.
We got
Biggest thunderstorm.
Softball sized hail.
Oh, nice.
Ever. Yeah.
That's the funnest
We're
time
in
to
a
be
tent.
camping.
It was a disaster. We made it out of there before we got killed. But she was like, nope, never again. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to fight you on that. So we do other stuff together, but the outdoors and camping and whatnot, you know, an overnight at our lease, it's not going to happen.
Maybe that should be an upcoming top three things to do with your spouse.
Oh, there you go.
It's like vacation.
But you can't do that all the time. People can't. But oh yeah, that's Chet and Ashley. They're known for camping.
They're known for vacationing.
They're known for vacationing.
They're never here.
Oh, we're going to Antigua. Oh, yeah. Though that Chet and Ashley, they're always off somewhere doing something.
Yeah. Hey, I'm okay with that too.
I'm not.
That'd be fantastic.
You need to be here, working.
Yeah. Okay, Matt.
I'm off enjoying time with my family.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Hunting.
I don't.
No, I think that
I'm not going to ask that. That's not going to be my ask for Ashley to be the one thing that we always do together. That's not it.
It's not going to work for my wife either.
Yeah.
I have to come up with something. Anyway, good word.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chet.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that it? You ready to kick it?
Matt doesn't
out
like
of here?
to take us out.
I'm not taking us out. I'm going to
just
let one of you
doesn't do
guys
it.
take us out. But
I'll do it because
I'll play it
I
out.
think he did it last episode.
Yeah, go for it.
I've already hit it. Start
Thank
talking.
you for joining the Hardheaded podcast. If you would, please like, share, subscribe, reach out to us in a comment. I promise one of us will respond at a minimum. Thanks for spending your time listening to us. And don't forget to go to admiralspennant.com. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. Thanks for joining us today. # join the conversation.
Man, that was a great job.
You did a really good job. That's why I don't do it, man.
You just need to practice.
No, there's no amount of practice that's going to fix that. I just can't do it.
No.
It's too much to remember at one time.
Give it up. You can do anything.